Chances are you haven't heard of the movie Lady Ballers unless you're really into politics on X, but due to its controversial subject matter, I thought I would go ahead and review it. If anyone ever says I shouldn't watch a movie or shouldn't read a book because it's controversial, then that's just a big green light for me. Lady Ballers is a film produced by the DailyWire, which is the conservative media company that hosts various political commentators like Ben Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, etc. They've been trying to get into the film and TV show business as an alternative to Hollywood, and Lady Ballers was a surprise release original film. They announced this was coming out just a few days before they aired it on December 1st, and they managed to keep it a secret from everybody. What makes the movie controversial is that it is a comedy centered around the debate of whether trans women should participate in female sports leagues. So that can be a touchy subject for a lot of people. Jeremy Boring plays a washed-up high school basketball coach who is wishing he could relive the glory days of winning state championships, when one day his 8-year-old daughter tells him that she learned in school that men and women can identify as whatever gender they choose. The scheming coach decides to take advantage of this gender philosophy, and he recruits a team of his former male high school basketball players to dress up as women and dominate women's basketball at the global games. Lady Ballers was actually a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. I saw the trailer, and while it looked like it had some semi-funny lines in it and maybe some fun cameos for people on the political right, you could tell there was going to be a lot of awkward jokes that would miss the runway. I was very surprised at how much mainstream comedy there was in here. You would think most of the jokes would come at the expense of transgender people or the political left. I mean, there is some of that, and there are some not so subtle references to high-profile cases of transgender women in women's sports, but there's just a lot of very funny scenes that have nothing to do with any of that. They really were trying to emulate the irreverent screwball sports comedies like Dodgeball or Waterboy. Jeremy Boring is much funnier than his name would suggest, and he does a great job in his first feature-length starring role. If you're a Daily Wire fan, you'll probably love all the conservative cameos in here. Seeing Matt Walsh as a meditating hippie, or seeing Michael Knowles wearing a headdress because he just found out that he's 1/2000th Native American was kind of entertaining. Being a Daily Wire production, Lady Ballers obviously takes the position that it's not fair for transgender women to participate in women's sports, but there is actually very little transgender bashing in this movie, or I should say a lot less transgender bashing than I thought there would be. I think one of the biggest messages underlying the movie is, hey, remember when we used to be able to make jokes about stuff? Remember watching Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, and David Spade dressing up as women on Saturday Night Live? Or remember movies like Some Like It Hot, or The Hot Chick, or White Chicks, or even Disney Channel movies like Mr. Headmistress? Even though I thought the movie was funny overall, it did have a lot of problems. For every good joke, there were several that were very poorly executed. Some of the acting isn't too good from the cameo actors, but yeah, what do you expect? A few of the characters' story arcs are left incomplete, or we are introduced to a person's backstory, but it then has no bearing whatsoever on future events. In just one example, one character is introduced as having an intense hatred towards badgers after being trolled by a badger mascot at a basketball game. But then that character-defining trait is quickly dropped and it's never brought up again. There were also a few random moments of preachiness that were very unnecessary. Like a lady gets angry at Jeremy Boring for talking about getting divorced, and she cites a bunch of statistics about all the problems children of divorced parents face. And I'm thinking, whoa, where is this coming from? And I waited for a punchline and it never came. It was really out of place and weird. Would I recommend Lady Ballers? If you're on the political left, you will probably hate this movie. If you're on the political right, you will likely enjoy it, even if it has some issues. My expectations were very low, but I was surprised at the quality of much of the comedy. There's enough here to make me want to watch it a second time.